Hello everybody, what is going on? I hope you guys are doing well today. This is Elliot here and I want to welcome you back to another episode of The Fragrance Well. So today's topic, I thought I'd just have a little bit of fun. What I did was I went and looked at the top 5 sellers for Macy's as of when I'm shooting this video. And I said, you know what? I'm going to replace these top 5 with what I think should be the top 5 sellers. There's no rhyme or reason to why I chose what I chose. I just picked 5 scents that I do think are superior to what is the current top 5 that are selling at Macy's. So what did I choose? I'm gonna show you right now. Okay, so first of all, I do want to make it clear that I do not think that the top 5 sellers that are selling at Macy's right now are bad necessarily, nor do I think that they just shouldn't exist. Just having a little bit of fun. I just want to replace them with scents that I wish were the top 5. Almost like saying I wish these scents were more popular and were what would be considered top sellers in the States. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention what the fragrance on Macy's is and where it ranks, and then I'm going to mention what I would replace it with. Before I get started, I do need to point out that number 4 on the list was actually Sauvage Elixir from Dior, which was a great surprise to me. I have to say I am actually quite happy that this fragrance is actually in the top 5 at Macy's right now. I did not see that coming. But that being said, I love this fragrance and I would never ever take it out of a top 5 list. This is easily one of the top ones in my collection. Stunning what they did with the Sauvage DNA in this one. Granted, it's basically a completely different fragrance. It barely has anything from the original Sauvage. But yeah, this is a great fragrance, so I not dare replace this one on a top 5 list. So that being said, this is basically an honorable mention, so I'm gonna skip over it. It's number 4 on the list, but I'm just gonna omit it for the list that I compiled. Okay, so technically the top 6th fragrance, but we're gonna call it the top 5th for this list, is 1 Million from Paco Rabanne, just the original EDT. I do not have a bottle of any 1 Million fragrances, particularly the EDT, which should tell you pretty much what I think about it because it's not hard to get. Not a fan of the original 1 Million. When I was first getting into fragrances, I smelled 1 Million Lucky, and frankly, I did not like it. However, I did revisit it on a tester strip a little bit later on, and I'm now considering getting it. I, by some chance of luck, got a sample of 1 Million Privé from my mother. She just happened to have one in her travel kit, and I took that, and it is a shame that I was not collecting fragrances when that one was available, because that fragrance was beautiful. All that being said, I would replace 1 Million with Ombre Leather from Tom Ford. This is the Parfum, but either one would work. No particular reason other than I just really like Ombre Leather and I think it's a far superior fragrance to 1 Million. Yep. Black Leather, Cedarwood, Green Tobacco, Jasmine Sambac Absolute, Iris, Violet Leaf Absolute, and Woody notes. Ombre Leather is actually already a very popular scent, but you never really do see it in a top 5 category from any major retailer. That being said, I think it should be up there. Easily the most popular leathery style scent from a designer. The Parfum in particular is actually a little bit smoother than the original Ombre Leather, but like I said, I think either one would work. Either one can take the place of 1 Million on any list in my opinion. Okay, so the 4th most popular fragrance at Macy's as of me making this video is YSL's Y EDP. I don't have the EDP, I have the Le Parfum. You know, they're somewhat similar, but not, you know, Y EDP is a little bit sweeter, a little bit more, a little less mature, a little bit more outgoing, while this one's a little bit more reserved, but they're pretty similar. I don't hate the Y fragrances, however, I am not a massive fan of them. I have barely worn this one, to be honest. I've sampled Y EDP on my skin. Frankly, it was just a little bit too artificially sweet for me. I'm not a big fan of those artificially sweet fragrances, which is why I don't really like a lot of the 1 Million fragrances. All that being said, I would replace it with MFK Oud Satin Mood, particularly the X-Straight. I do think the X-Straight is far better than the EDP. That being said, the EDP is awesome as well. You know, Oud and Rose fragrance. Very rich, awesome quality, long lasting, projects like a monster. Absolutely love this scent. Features Turkish Damask Rose, Tunisian Rosa, Absolute, Laotian Oud, vanilla, amber, geranium, cinnamon, and violet. Oud Satin Mood, easily one of the most popular fragrances from MFK outside of the Baccarat Rouge fragrances. A true unisex fragrance. I love wearing this. I love when my wife wears it. So this one to me is 100% unisex. I truly enjoy it whether I wear it or if a woman wears it. So that to me, in my opinion, is what really defines a unisex fragrance that I would consider unisex. Is I enjoy them equally on either sex. Alright, so the third most popular seller at Macy's at the time of this video is Versace's Eros, the eau de parfum in particular. Which is not a surprise to me. I think the eau de parfum has kind of been beating out the eau de toilette for some time now. Personally, I am not a big fan of any of the original Eroses. That's the eau de toilette, the eau de parfum, and the newer parfum. Although I do think the newer parfum is decent. That one I could probably at least stand to wear. But I've tried this on my skin a couple times and I'm just like, it's just not a style of fragrance I'm a fan of. I do not mind the Eros Flame. I liked it a lot more when I first started collecting. As I've gotten more and more scents in my collection and my nose has developed a little bit more, I've liked it a lot less, so I'm not wearing it as much. That being said, if I had to keep one, it would be Flame over any of the original Eros formulations. And to replace that one, I'm gonna go with Parfums de Marly's Herod. Absolutely love this scent. The spicy, sweet, vanilla-like tobacco fragrance. This one features cinnamon, pepperwood, tobacco, frankincense, osmanthus, cistus, vanilla, cedarwood, cypriol, musk, patchouli, and vetiver. Yeah, I absolutely love this fragrance. Actually, I hated this fragrance when I first sampled it. I sampled it on a tester strip. I think I got a sample in and sampled it on a tester strip. I thought it was disgusting. And then I just revisited it a little bit later on and I sprayed it on my skin and was instantly turned around. I'm like, oh, so you do need to try fragrances on your skin before you completely write them off to know if you really like them or not. That is a free hint, by the way. Herod, easily one of the most popular ones from the House of Parfums de Marly. Probably their first major hit as far as I know. Beautiful fragrance. People complain about the newer formulations. Well, you know, it is what it is. Formulations change over time. They often do get weaker, but this one still performs pretty good on my skin and I still think it smells amazing. So this is Parfums de Marly Herod. That should be the number 3 seller. By the way, I know Macy's doesn't actually sell a lot of these, but in my opinion, these are the fragrances that I think should be a lot more mainstream in the States because I think they're superior, but I understand there's a certain style of fragrance that sells in the States more than these do. So, I mean, I get it. Alright, so we are up to the top 2. You could probably take an easy guess as to what these top 2 fragrances probably are as the top sellers on Macy's website. Well, as of me looking at this video, it is going to be Sauvage Eau de Parfum. Yes, particularly the Eau de Parfum, not the Eau de Toilette. I find it interesting that the Eau de Toilette is not even on the top 5. Actually, it wasn't even in the top 6 because I did just look down to see what was below 1 million. Which was actually Acto de Joe. Technically that's top 7 because like I said, Sauvage Elixir was actually number 4. I don't hate Sauvage. I actually really enjoy it. I don't wear it that much anymore because I have so much more interesting stuff, but I still pull this out from time to time and I still think it's a great fragrance and it is a top seller for a reason. All that being said, I do think Dior has a superior fragrance that should be number 2 on the list, and this is Dior Homme Intense. The makeup-y, lipsticky, iris heavy, almost chocolatey fragrance from Dior. Absolute masterpiece in my opinion. This one features Florentine Iris Absolute, Ecuadorian Ambret Seed, and Virginia Cedar. Certainly not as versatile as a Sauvage Eau de Parfum, so you know, I get that in the real world this fragrance like this would never be beating out a fragrance like a Sauvage, but that being said, I do think this fragrance is far superior to Sauvage Eau de Parfum. Beautiful offering from the House of Dior, and it's a shame that it's not more readily available in the States anymore, but I am glad that it is still being produced in a large volume and you can still easily get it, and it's not ridiculously expensive. Dior Homme Intense, in my opinion, should be number 2 on Macy's website. And what fragrance came in number 1? Well, if you saw what number 2 is, you should be able to guess what number 1 is. Yep, that's right. It's Bleu de Chanel from Chanel. I have the parfum here. The top seller is actually the Eau de Parfum, which does make a lot of sense to me. I just like this one better. I do plan on picking up the Eau de Parfum, but I actually don't have it yet. Naturally, Chanel fragrances, you got to pay full retail for, so you kind of got to plan that out. When do I want to actually pay full retail for a fragrance? But Bleu de Chanel is stunning. Also, another fragrance that I think is deserving of all the praise that it gets. I get it, it's probably a little more played out by now. It would be cool to see if they come up with another version of a Bleu de Chanel fragrance in this year. We'll see. Chanel, actually, can you release something for men this year outside of the exclusive line, which I do enjoy those fragrances too, but can we get something new in the designer line? What's going on? And the fragrance I chose to be #1 on Macy's website. They don't sell this, so don't be mad at me, but you know, I just picked one and I said, hey, I think that would be a great replacement. This is going to be Roja Parfum's Elysium. This is the Parfum in particular. Absolute laundry list of notes, but it's got some citrus in it. It's got lavender, musk, thyme. It's got black currant, green jasmine, May rose, cedarwood, juniper berry, ambergris, benzoin, cypriol, musk, and leather and vanilla as some of the notes that are listed for this fragrance. This fragrance is absolutely stunning to me. You get freshness, you get cleanliness, you get very nice citrus, you also get aromatic and woodiness, and it's like you can pick it up all at once, which is pretty crazy for a fragrance to have that much going on kind of all at one time and it not come across as a complete mess. That's one of the great things about a house like Roja. Very high quality ingredients, a lot of ingredients listed, so you can kind of formulate a bigger picture in your mind of what is being used to cultivate the smell that you're smelling. This is kind of their high-end blue style fragrance, so I think it is a great choice to put this as the #1 seller in place of a Bleu de Chanel, because they kind of serve the same purpose. Bleu de Chanel being famous for that great citrus opening and the woodiness on the dry down. This one has a little bit more of that going on, but it has awesome citrus in the opening and great woods as a base for the fragrance as well. So the #1 seller to me on Macy's website should be this right here, Roja Parfum Elysium. Okay, so that is gonna do it for today's video. I thought I would just have a little bit of fun with what the top 5 fragrances are, and in my mind, what I think they should be based on what I have in my collection. This could change at any time. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of thought into why I chose the fragrances I chose, other than really Elysium, because I think it serves a similar purpose to what a Bleu de Chanel does. But all the other ones were just kind of random. I was like, hey, I like this fragrance better, I'll put it here. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments. Also, what are some fragrances you would put as a top 5 based on what Macy's top 5 sellers are in this list today? I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Wheel. Goodbye.